Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair-agale, ni hao, junashumme, washmale. Ohio gozaimasu, guten Morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal? Hali shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, fabi, balli kare aaya. Hosh galden and ayo sayo, khuya mora, chivato, chi hal jod, kalimera. And a very, very happy Independence Day to all of those Pakistanis. May you be in Pakistan or may you be somewhere outside. Ladies and gentlemen, from the very core of our hearts, we certainly want to wish you a very happy Independence Day on this special transmission of World This Morning on PTV World. I happen to be Shahzad Hasan Khan, one of those Pakistanis who certainly want to project the positive image of Pakistan. Alongside me, ladies and gentlemen, I've got, a colleague who actually, I believe, happens to be on the same wavelength as I am. She happens to be Miss Haja Satti. Hello, Haja. Assalamu alaikum. Yawm-e Azadi Mubarak.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much, Jazakallah khair, for introducing me. And Yawm-e Azadi Mubarak to you and everyone who is watching out there, and especially to our Pakistani brethren who are residing abroad, because in Pakistan, we are celebrating it very pompously. You can see a lot of buntings out there. You can see a lot of, bajas out there. But especially to those Pakistanis who are abroad, obviously, they are living in another country, so they might not be able to celebrate in that sort of a zealous way as we celebrate here in Pakistan. But Shahzad, I came across this very important quote, and I do remember when I was a student, so I used to quote it in a lot of my assignments, and that always inspired me a lot, and that was the Stanley Wolpert's quote he wrote in his Jinnah's biography, and that is a very significant quote in which he said that few individuals are able to alter the course of history, few still modify the map of the world, and hardly anyone can be credited with the creation of a nation state, and Jinnah did all of the three, and that is why we believe that Jinnah made this beautiful homeland for us. He carved out on the international map, and we have a blessing of Allah, an agency where we can express our identities as Pakistani. And as I was young, I always used to say that Qaum, Watan, Mulk, Millat, these are all very fancy verbal addition to our Urdu dictionary, but I was wrong. They're more than a part of that.
True.
They're the part of our genetic identity. They make us a part of something bigger called Pakistan that inspires us to strive more. And as I reflect, and as it is said about it, that as you get older, so nostalgia strikes you. So I do remember that when I was growing up, it was such a different sort of a celebration, right? And we were not into the gadgets as kids nowadays are. So we used to go outside the house. There were so many
fireworks and whatnot.
Fireworks, lightning, buntings out there. There were special shows out there. I do remember PTV used to have a lot of special programs in addition to it, and that was such a wonderful addition, and so many childhood memories that we have it. But one thing that always inspired me and that makes me a better citizen and inspired me to do better is that what have I contributed towards this wonderful motherland called Pakistan. And that is why, because of this philosophy, and I think credit goes to Shahzad, that he was adamant that we need to do a program on the younger people, because they are the builder of the nation. They will be steering the country in the next years to come, and that is why we are here in this institute. So Shahzad, why don't you take the lead and introduce
exactly. So thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we do know that for a fact that 60% or more population over here in our country is of youngsters, comprises of youth as well. So there's a larger responsibility on to them, to make sure that we get that name which we truly deserve as Pakistanis. Number one. Number two, so we actually, alongside our team, sorry, obviously we cannot say just me and Haja, our entire team of World This Morning gathered. I mean, we're like, okay, what are we supposed to do? So we actually picked up this institute, which is called the Nifty Square over here in Islamabad, and they're making sure that they are going to contribute towards the fashion ideology of the country, and it definitely reflects quite a lot. Imagine when we go to Lahore, or probably if we go to Texila, how we do have our cultural identity from province to province. And speaking of Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, right from the south to the north, we get so many amazing experiences because of the country that we live in. So we certainly want to discuss the role the youngsters need to play in making sure that we are moving towards the right direction, that there's nation building, that we're making sure that our future generations will certainly be onto the bandwagon of whatever technological advancements are coming up as well. So we're very lucky that we'll be joined by some wonderful guests. But before we introduce them, and since Haja has actually given me that peer pressure with a quotation, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share one as well from Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah, which I have always believed in, and that is that he used to say that I take a decision and then make it right. I think that's the kind of ideology that we all need to work on as well. And it's self-belief as well.
True sign of a leadership, right? right? So this is why leaders are admired, and this is why they have a huge following out there. But obviously, we are going to dissect that why we particularly chose an institute which is focusing on fashion designing, because if you see that fashion is not just a part of a cultural expression, but it is something that is very prevalent in the public spaces. And if you see, I think Pakistani fashion industry is doing wonders around the world, and it is attracting a lot of people around it. So in order to further explore how can
I want to contribute over here.
Sure.
So imagine, just for everybody who's out there, because we go out in 47 different countries. If we are in Sindh, the fashion sense, obviously we do get ajraks, right?
Yes.
Ajraks are very famous over there. And then if we go to Balochistan, what's famous in Balochistan?
So Balochistan has its own Balochi Karhai, and it's very unique, and you can identify it. I don't know if there's a particular name to it. I think we will ask the people who are the experts here.
But whatever it is, it's Dado Suto. We come down to Punjab, we do see dhoti, kurta, lassi, all of it. It's a part of our culture. We go to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, there's more of mutton, there's more of shalwar kameez, waistcoat and khediya and whatnot. So every region, may it be Gilgit Baltistan, their own language, and we certainly need to cherish them all as well, because I don't think that a lot of people know there are more than 74 languages which are being spoken over here within our own country. We've been joined by the youngsters, but very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that you're going to get that nostalgia for all of those people who might be beyond 80 years of age. They might kind of experience it once again.
True.
Because what happened on 13th of August and what happened on 14th of August is something that we want to share with you. We're going for a small report. Once you come back, we have the youngsters, the flag bearers of Pakistan. We will be in conversation with them. Let's go. Let's take a good look.
13 अगस्त 1947 ये ऑल इंडिया रेडियो लाहौर है। आप हमारे अगले ऐलान का इंतजार कीजिए। 14 अगस्त 1947 ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान लाहौर है। आपको पाकिस्तान मुबारक।
Now this is the announcement which still gives us goosebumps, which has left an everlasting effect on our minds and hearts. The concept of freedom Quaid-e-Azam has introduced enlightened the entire nation with freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of race, freedom of caste, leaving us with an air of peace, unity and discipline. He said, "You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques or to any other place of worship in this state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed that has nothing to do with the business of state." Muhammad Ali Jinnah served as leader of All India Muslim League from 1913 till Pakistan's independence on August 14, 1947, and Pakistan's first Governor General from August 15, 1947 till his death on September 11, 1948. What a true example of sacrifice and a true example of leadership. 64% of Pakistan's population is below 30 years of age, which means we have 64% of people in our country who are young and who are the asset of our country. That many minds, that many ideas, that many notions and concepts, and that much innovation can make the future and write another history. In 1947, in his address to the youth, he said, "Pakistan is proud of its youth, particularly the students who have always been in the forefront in the hour of trial and need. You are the nation's leaders of tomorrow and must fully equip yourself by discipline, education, and training for the arduous task lying ahead of you. You should realize the magnitude of your responsibility and be ready to bear it." Baba-i-Qaum particularly emphasized on the education and training of the youth so that they are ready for the future. In one of the addresses, he said, "The future of the state will and must accordingly depend upon the type of education we give to our children and the way in which we bring them up as future citizens of Pakistan. With all the challenges, we still stand tall, and we will continue to be one nation, one Pakistan." A very happy Independence Day to you all.
And that was a verbal representation, like Shahzad mentioned, of how Pakistan, what is the Pakistaniyat, the concept of the Pakistaniyat entails, and that is why we want to further explore this concept, that too from the lens of the Pakistani young people here. They're inspiring young people. They have been on our shows before, and their ideologies, their ideas inspire us a lot. So without any further ado, we would like to introduce them. So first of all, we are joined by Jannat Ilyas. She happens to be a student from the LSE, and she's also the member of the ISIC. Assalamu alaikum, Jannat. Jannat, and thank you so much for coming to our show.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much for having
Happy
me.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day to all.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Right. And joining Jannat, we are very glad that we have been joined by another young bird who has some own dreams of his own to make Pakistan flourish. So we are going to explore what does he want to do in the future. We are very glad that we have been joined by A.R. Nasir. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our show.
Islam, thank you very much.
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence to you as well.
And both of you look amazing as well. Thank you so much for coming all the way. Jannat is actually, made sure that she's going to come to Islamabad all the way from Lahore. But Saab is over here. But Saab, thank you so much. Her father, he's always been very supportive. But Jannat, how you think that we certainly need to give back to our country, being at such an age where you're certainly deciding what career path you're going to pick up. What do you think of Pakistan? How do you think everybody needs to celebrate their Independence Day?
So I think there's a huge spectrum between the celebrations that our youth does. So whatever you guys mention, it is certainly a part of instigating some sort of patriotism in the youth.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important as well, teaching kids how important it is to be patriotic. But apart from that, I think a huge contribution that we need to make is to make Pakistan a better place. So it's been 77 years that we've had our homeland to ourselves, and I think it's a huge part of us. And whatever place we are in, we need to obviously have those celebrations. We need to have the buntings and the bajas and everything else. But I think
Secondary for you, right?
yes, but I think when we talk about celebrating our homeland, we need to give some sort of contribution on our behalf to our homeland as well. So being 70% of our country, our youth needs to give some sort of contribution back in terms of contributing when we talk about putting up plants, when we talk about putting up the contributions that could actually be the face of Pakistan.
Yeah.
So being currently I'm the country head for quality assurance in ISIC in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Basically ISIC is the world's largest youth-run organization, and being the face of Pakistan amongst the international control board, I got to know that every other person, whether you are serving from Bangladesh or India or Pakistan, you are basically being the face of Pakistan. So however you're functioning within that certain entity is how you will represent Pakistan. So I think that is a small contribution on my behalf as well, and I think everyone could do their own.
And we will come back to this as well.
Right.
I would certainly want to ask you about how you make sure that, how you are instigating patriotism in all of those people who you represent as well. But hold on to that thought. Let's move on to Mr. A.R. Nasir. A.R., once again, thank you so much. How would you want to celebrate Happy Independence Day? And how do you think that, patriotism needs to prevail in all of our youngsters? Now, imagine, I'm going to give you a situation. So, for example, there's something that our parents tell us and we do not agree to it. It's not always necessary that they're always right? Such is the case with the country. We think of Pakistan as motherland, we behave like that. But if there's something wrong, what would you do about it?
The thing is that, first of all, even it is in the Quran that Allah has mentioned that we must do shukr and sabr on everything. So Allah has gifted us with this Pakistan. This is a very big blessing of Allah Ta'ala, that we are having the sacred nation. We are free to practice our religion. This thing, the new generation, they are not knowing the price of this patriotism and the price of actually the new nation, the price of this freedom. The new generation, they don't know. So as Ma'am Hajra also mentioned, that all should know, the young generation should get to know about Pakistaniyat. What is actually Pakistaniyat?
What is it?
It is actually, I have also read a book upon it, which is written by Senator Javed Jabbar. And he has mentioned upon the various 41 aspects which cover about being a Pakistani, what are your rights towards your nation. The 11 Nishan-e-Haider which were there, they had some dream for us. They sacrificed their lives.
Exactly.
So Nasir grew up in an environment, and I think I can share the same sort of an environment. So when you were growing up in your childhood, what sort of Independence Day how did you celebrate it, and how has it changed now as you have grown up? So what sort of a transition did you witness?
Actually, as in the couple of years last, we have observed that the innovation in this, IT, it has, emerged. The smartphones, tablets, laptops, these things have emerged. So people earlier, what they used to do, they used to go out of their streets on the roads with their flags and have the competitions that who will be having the greater flag, the larger flag, with the speakers with them, cassettes with them, Junaid Jamshed's melodious songs with them. But now they are posting their stories on Instagram and Facebook. That is the difference actually, which is the I can feel that with the.
Not a bad thing, is it?
It is positive. No, we have.
Not a bad thing, but imagine.
It's not a bad thing, is it?
I mean, it's not a bad thing, but imagine that, if there's something that needs to be done, and you only kind of log on to your Facebook and change your display picture, I don't think that will help. But while we are at it, and, you are with us as well, and you've spoken about how we are reminiscing about Junaid Jamshed's patriotic songs and, Mili Naghme and whatnot. I think we are going to request you to do so as well for all our viewers out there.
Yes, I will sing a Mili Nagma of Nayyara Noor ma'am. She got Allah bless him in Jannah, and she just got died a couple of months ago. So I would like to sing Vatan ki matti gawar hai na, gawar hai na. वतन की मिट्टी गवाह रहना, गवाह रहना। वतन की मिट्टी अजीम है तू, अजीम तर हम बना रहे हैं, गवाह रहना। वतन की मिट्टी गवाह रहना, गवाह रहना। तेरे मुगन्नी की हर सदा में तेरी ही खुशबू महक रही है। तेरे मुगन्नी की हर सदा में तेरी ही खुशबू महक रही है। एक धुन में हर एक लय में तेरी मोहब्बत चमक रही है, गवाह रहना। वतन की मिट्टी गवाह रहना, गवाह रहना। तेरी ज़मीं के ये चांद तारे हैं जिनकी आँखों में प्यार तेरा। तेरी ज़मीं के ये चांद तारे हैं जिनकी आँखों में प्यार तेरा। सदाकतों के दिए जलाकर बढ़ा रहे हैं वकार तेरा, गवाह रहना। वतन की मिट्टी गवाह रहना, गवाह रहना। हर एक दिल में तेरी लगन है, तेरी ही जानिब हर एक नजर है।
वाह वाह।
हर एक दिल में तेरी लगन है, तेरी ही जानिब हर एक नजर है। सभी हिफाजत का अज़्म लेकर हर एक अपने महाज पर है, गवाह रहना। वतन की मिट्टी गवाह रहना, गवाह रहना।
Thank you so much, yaar. You kind of gave us all of those memories that we've lived with, growing up. I think it's wonderful. Thank you so much for such an amazing patriotic song, Mili Nagma, and that's the spirit of, Independence Day.
Yes, sir. It is the same thing that whenever, as she was asking that what was the difference. So even now, whenever the Independence Day is there, we actually get some sort of freshness whenever we see the Milli Naghmas which are being played of the PTV. These Milli Naghmas were, actually composed by the PTV, and they are still living. So
And I think that is why we feel very proud to be part of PTV, and it brings us a lot of a heavy responsibility on the shoulders, because the dramas, the themes, the musics that were produced back in the day, they're so timeless, and then they're so magnanimous in their creation that still we hear them, and we reminiscent about the old days, and it revives back the spirit, it revives back the zeal that we are so a part of that, right? So Jannat, now coming back to you, I think ladies first, as it is said famously. So you're part of the Isaac, and obviously it's a heavy responsibility how you manage the things out there. And as you said, when you are working in this multinational sort of an organization or an institute, so you are not just working as an employer there, right? You're also representing your culture, your country, your ethnicity, and whatever you say that, right? So, and I hear this question a lot, right, especially among the young people, that what has this state or this country given to me, right? But the paradigm shift is that we ask, what have we given to Pakistan, right? So if I ask you and pose you the same question, how would you answer that?
So I think, as you mentioned, we always ask what has this country given us, but there's always needs to be there always needs to be like a two-way relationship between your country, right? So the best that this homeland has given to us is independence, and that is what we're celebrating. But what are we giving them back is what matters. And I think, as you mentioned, it's not easy presenting your own country at an international platform. So, but what I try my best in whatever, I have a small team on my behalf as well, and whatever I teach them, I always tell them that always remember that you are the face of your country, and whatever you're going to do, whatever message you are going to do with your work is going to tell what your country is basically.
Exactly, and in addition to this, I think it's nice that having a two-way relationship, but unfortunately, and I think that we really need to state facts as well, it's not been a two-way relationship. Now I think that there's a heavier responsibility onto all of us, that we make sure that we give more back to the country rather than, because if we go to our previous generations, maybe our Dada Abu or our fathers, I think that they've taken more rather than given back. Now you as somebody who's representing the entire country on an international platform, you will make sure with all of those other people, but how do you instigate those values as a team lead, as somebody who's representing an entire country, and that to the youngsters of the country?
So, as I mentioned before, that instigating that sort of patriotism is very important.
How do you do that? That's the question.
Yes. So what I was going to say was that growing up, we've had all of these things, celebrations and stuff. But I think a very small contribution that we can do is do a benefit and cost analysis, right? So I recently saw a video. My father was sharing that video with me, right? So he told me that that baja or the horn that we blow is basically, it costs about 200 rupees, right? And a plant, a very small plant that costs us around 100 rupees is much more beneficial. So if we do this small cost benefit analysis and we see that how we can contribute is, I think, much better. And coming back to your question, whatever I try to do is that since my work is related to quality assurance and it's
more important, yeah.
So what I try to do is that so basically what ISEC does is it offers exchange opportunities for people abroad as well. They come to Pakistan through those opportunities, and people from Pakistan go towards different countries. So what I try to do is that I try to maintain that sort of quality. So whenever some person is coming to Pakistan, it's at stake for us. Whatever our respect is at stake, our image is at stake, right? So what I try to do is I try to communicate to all the different cities who are bringing those exchange students. Okay, there are some things that are very important. So you need to host them according to some standards. You need to tell them that Pakistan is a very hospitable country and why, and you need to promote that positive.
And I think you're very successful in that, because we've seen on our program, we've seen plenty of people that are attracted to Pakistan, exploring our high mountains, the rugged terrains, and the different topographies, now coming to Abdur Rahman. So what do you aspire to be? Because our audiences who know, some of them who know Abdur Rahman, he has done his FSC, and I think that is the most important point in your life, where everyone is saying that either you want to go to university or you have to choose a particular field. And I think there's a lot of heavy pressure on that. And once you pass that stage, then I think life unrolls and things becomes easy.
I don't think so, because this is something which I've been hearing all my life. Beta, school kar lo, जिंदगी आसान हो जाएगी बेटा,
मैट्रिक के पेपर सबसे मुश्किल होते हैं,
कॉलेज कर लो
and,
जिंदगी आसान है बेटा,
life-changing
यूनिवर्सिटी कर
moment,
लो
yeah.
आसान हो जाएगी, पता नहीं कब आसान होगी। अल्लाह हम सब के लिए आसानी पैदा करे। प्लीज लेट्स गो
Abdurrahman,
अहेड।
please answer. What do you aspire to be?
I aspire to be I am very much inspired by the defenders of our motherland, the one who are standing at the borderline just for our security. We are sleeping at the night with feeling secure, eating and drinking whatsoever we want, just because of Allah's protection. Secondly, the Pakistan armed forces, especially the Pakistan army, which is on the borders, serving in the front line and giving, strict
That's
action.
the kind of patriotism we need.
I mean, so okay, there are other institutions that are protecting our motherland, right? So it's Air Force, it's Navy, it's police,
forces,
it's
yes.
Navy. There's so many other institutions.
I just added Pakistan Army because I just read that it is the 7th strongest army in the world, and United Kingdom's Chief of Army Staff recently stated that Pakistan Army is the most disciplined army in the complete world in his
And
point
not
of view.
only the discipline, the most decorated as well. Alhamdulillah, they've always made sure that they keep the flag high, flying high as well. And I think that, rich tribute to all of those people who contributed to Pakistan's success, may it be the prime ministers of the country, may it be the governing bodies, may it be the law enforcing agencies, may it be the armed forces, may it be the development sector. I think everybody has contributed to it as much as they can.
Highly indebted
But
to them,
but
yes.
I think where we are as of now, and Haja, we're talking about youngsters as well. Let's start with the positives that Pakistan has given to the rest of the world. Now, imagine, I'll start with one and it'll give you an idea. Imagine that, the footballs that we use in the FIFA World Cup are actually made over here in our country. Number one.
Right, and I think there's a plenty of list out there, and thank you so much for reminding me out there, because I am very proud as a Pakistani, because Pakistan is not a very, I would say, a rich country, right? And despite the fact that we have given refuge to Afghan refugees, while the world has refused to take them, and especially the Western world, which has more resources, which has more capacity to deal with this phenomenon, and the matter of the fact is that they have an instrumental role in creating such a situation that they have to take refuge in other countries, right? So, and we've never discriminated among them, right? There are brethren, there are sisters, they are living across the Pakistan, they're flourishing here, they are businessmen. I mean, if they're cricket team, they learned the cricket from here. I think Shazad can better comment on that.
That's true, but we've even taken tent pegging to UK. Imagine that, the cultural impact that Pakistan has had all over the world is different. The truck art, or the Dulan buses that we see as well. We see them in UK, US, the rickshaws or the tuk-tuks. I think everything.
And I think we are in nuclear power. In such a short span of time, we became one of the, most important power in the world, and because of
and the first ever Islamic country.
Yes, of course. And I think these are such an important contributions that our state did to the entire human civilization, and no one can deny that we are also the predecessors of the Gandharan civilization, and it has contributed immensely to the entire humanity out there, and we are their representatives sitting out there. Shazad was mentioning about the Ajrak. Ajrak was inherited by such an old civilization out there. So there are lots of things that we will explore. What does Pakistaniyat means to us? Whenever we talk about Pakistaniyat, I think Iqbal, Qaid-e-Azam, the forces, the culture, the cultural identity. I think you have something to add. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to add that a couple of 3 to 4 months back, I visited Nepal, a country in South Asia, and it is having 3 borders with India and 1 with China. So I went there, and the way the hospitality they showed towards Pakistanis, it was actually a youth exchange program calling all the South Asian countries. All the 8 South Asian countries were, invited. There few few students of, FSC level were called upon at that place. And when Pakistanis were there, so there were Afghani students, there were Indian students, there were, from Bhutan, from Sri Lanka, from Maldives, from all these countries. As soon as they get to know that we are from Pakistan, so they just got to know that they saluted us, that you are brave people. And we are proud. When we were there, so we were always given, sort of VIP protocol that these are Pakistanis.
Which is why I'm going to request you once again to sing us another patriotic song as well. So let's do it. Let's live with it. Yes.
I would like to sing "Ae Watan Pyare Watan," a very legendary singer, Amanat Ali Khan.
Ae Watan Pyare Watan. ऐ वतन प्यारे वतन पाक वतन ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ वतन प्यारे वतन, पाक वतन, पाक वतन, ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ वतन प्यारे वतन.
वाह वाह.
प्यारे वतन, पाक वतन, पाक वतन, ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ वतन प्यारे वतन.
Wow, that was fabulous. And A.R. Nasir, you're certainly a fabulous performer. Alhamdulillah, and in days to come, there will be generations when they'll be like, if it's going to be 14 August, we want to listen to A.R. Nasir's,
Apart from being
voice
serving
in,
the
in
mother.
our patriotic songs.
Actually, it is.
Our
I'm.
patriotic songs.
It is actually. I think that Allah has blessed me with a good voice. Then why
Border
not?
पे कोई बोर नहीं होगा.
Inshallah, inshallah.
तुम जाओगे फौज में border पे किसी को बोर नहीं होने देगा. I think having said that, there are a couple of questions that we would like to ask you before we wrap up this segment, and that is, once you start to serve the Pakistan Army, inshallah, all our prayers with you. How do you think that you will contribute towards the country's success? Do you think that there will be days in your life when there will be hardship, when you might not be able to say what you want to say? How do you think that you will come over that?
I believe that hardships are a part of the life, and ups and downs are there in life. But when you are having a sacred cause in your heart and in your mind, then believe me, there is nothing impossible.
And your sacred cause will be?
Sacred cause would be defend my country, my motherland, at the cost of my life. That is the thing. Yes. Thank you very much.
Wow, kya baat hai. Shahzada.
And that is why we say that it is an essential part of our genetic identity when we talk about Pakistaniyat. But we will cut short this segment and we will say thank you to both of our guests for coming here.
No, very quickly, I think I wanted to give Jannat another try as well with, because once you will graduate, you will be into your profession. How do you think your profession will help Pakistan get better?
So I think in whatever profession I will be, inshallah it will.
Oh no, you haven't thought about it, abhi tak?
I think it should be whatever. I think what I was trying to say is whatever profession I will be, or whatever profession,
like whatever job she will be doing, yeah?
Inshallah.
Profession any person will be in the future. I think the best thing to do is to do it.
Pay your taxes.
Yes, obviously, and do your duty with honesty, and always think of your homeland first. And whatever you do, you should know that you're the face of Pakistan, and it comes first, and you need to give out a positive message.
Wow, that's
Right.
wonderful. I think,
Thank you,
ladies and
wonderful.
gentlemen, you've heard it right from the youngsters who are representing Pakistan on all sorts of platforms. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us.
much.
Thank
Lovely
you so
to
much
have
for
you
having
here.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
It
so
was
so much.
it
Yeah,
was
Nasir, thank you so much, Jannat.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
to your parents as well for contributing, for making sure that you guys reach here in time. Thank you so much to Nifty's Fair. We're not going anywhere. We're just going or heading out
Short
towards a
break.
short break. Once you guys will come back, we have some more youngsters over here joining us, speaking about how they think they will contribute to the success and prosperity of the country, the motherland we call Pakistan.
Don't go anywhere. Happy Independence Day. And welcome back, and we were discussing the idea of Pakistaniyat, what does Pakistaniyat means, and obviously when we were growing up, Pakistaniyat meant Allama Iqbal, it meant Qaid-e-Azam and all of those 14 points and the amazing sort of the speeches that Qaid-e-Azam used to give, and I think Shahzad can also attest to that. And apart from that, when we were growing up, we were very much engaged into the activities of the celebration that was celebrating our household with the buntings, flags, and going them and shopping for them was just another fun event that we used to engage into that. And apart from not that, just also witnessing the lightning. And Shahzad, you might remember that when we were growing up, the Constitution Avenue, all of those important buildings, they were all draped in the lightning, and it was such a fun event.
Even last night was really amazing in Blue area as well.
Yes. And we can, especially at the night, you can witness that, and since Shahzad lives nearby to it, and I think he's also privy to all of those lightning and celebration that happens. But we have a different set of segment of kids here who will explain to us what does Pakistanian means to them, how does the idea of Pakistan entails, and how do they think, and especially because when we talk about the younger population, when we talk about the kids, they are the builders of the nation, and they will define what does Pakistan means in the coming age. So without any further ado, we are very glad that we have been joined by two very young buds, very cute kids. They have graced us in our institution. We are very glad that we have been joined by Mikael Mohsin Malik. He is a second grader. Assalamu alaikum, Mikael, and how are you doing today?
I'm well.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you amongst us as well, knowing that that there are kids like because we are certainly living our childhood seeing you over here on the Independence Day as well. So Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad. That's wonderful. And joining Mikael is.
We are very glad that we have been joined by another young bud who happens to be Javeria Bakhtiar. She is in the 6th grade. Assalamu alaikum, Javeria, and happy Independence Day to you.
Walaikum Assalam. Happy Independence Day.
Wow,
Wonderful.
That's
So, Javeria, how do you celebrate it? Independence Day.
Decoration at home, outside
How do you decorate your home?
with the balloons and flags.
Do
Wonderful.
you go out for shopping? Do you call your father, Abu, mujhe please, jana hai, jhandiyan leke aani, I need to get some buntings, I need to get some badges.
Yes.
What about firecrackers? Do you even ask for firecrackers? Yes. Really?
We were really fond of that, right?
Yeah.
Patake party.
I think everybody's fond of that. You know, it's the
But now it
most.
scares me a lot.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
do
the
it now.
most interesting bit of Jashn-e-Azadi and
And
going
there
to
were
see
so many
fireworks.
different types of firecrackers. The pata nahi kya,
Yeah,
chote wale
okay,
patake,
so there is
sutar
matches
bum.
bomb, there is matches bomb, there is sutar bomb, then there is,
Right.
you know, anar, then
Shurli
yeah, then there's
something,
shurli, you know,
and then
there's
there
so
was a
many.
small pataka, and you do it, and then, yes.
Yeah.
This is
कौन सा पटाखा होता है?
Which pataka?
कौन सा पटाखा होता है? बताओ जरा.
pop.
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 Yeah. I get that. You know, which comes in small boxes as well. But yeah, when we throw that, and you know, then there's this loud noise. You know, so that's pop as well. But you know, I'll move on to Mikhail. So Mikhail, you know, what do you think of our country, Pakistan? Your country, Pakistan. Our country, Pakistan. It's one of the best countries to live in. Where have you been in Pakistan?
Who created Pakistan?
Qaid-e-Azam Ali ji.
Wow,
Wonderful.
that's wonderful. Which places do you love in Pakistan? Where have you been? Have you been to Lahore? Have you been to Karachi? Where have you been?
Lahore, Karachi,
Peshawar?
Madla Hills,
Uh-huh.
Peshawar.
Wow. And do you love parks over here for all of our youngsters? Which parks do you like?
Joyland,
Joyland and? Okay. So you love playing. Which sport do you like playing?
cricket and
Cricket.
football.
Who do you love in cricket? Okay. In Pakistan cricket team, who do you love? Who is your favorite player?
My favorite batsman is Rizwan and my favorite bowler is Afridi.
Wow, you know, so imagine this is so different. I was expecting that he's going to say Babar Azam. He did say Babar Azam. He said Mohammad Rizwan.
And what are you going to say?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. But
Okay.
why do you? Because everybody loves Babar Azam so much. Not that I'm taking something away from Rizwan, you know. And on National Independence Day, there's something that I would love to kind of say over here, and that is that, you know, they are our sportsmen. You know, we need to support them, and they've given us immense pride. May it be anybody, any sport who've actually represented Pakistan. But why do you love Mohammad Rizwan more than Babar Azam?
Because Muhammad Rizwan is more good.
Is better than him? And why do you love Shaheen Shah Afridi? Why not Naseem Shah?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I just like.
Oh,
That's
that's
wonderful.
wonderful. So, Javeria, now coming to you, who are the national heroes do you love the most, and why do you love them? Okay.
Yes, she loves Qaid-e-Azam, she loves Dr. Allama Muhammad Iqbal, she loves Mia Muhammad Shabazz Sharif, yeah, you know, so I think it's great. But let's talk about what are your interests. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to go in army.
You want to be in army? Wow, you want to be an armed officer as well? Wow, that's
You
wonderful.
want to be a doctor, or you want to be in the regular army?
Regular army.
So you want to fight with guns and everything, yeah? That's what you want to do?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Is there somebody in your family who's already in Pakistan Army?
My dadabu.
Your dadabu was in Pakistan Army, your grandfather, you know, and what have you learned from your grandfather? Did he teach you something in particular about the country, about how you need to be a better person?
No.
Not really? What's your dadabu's name?
Muhammad Shabazz Ali.
Muhammad Shabazz Ali. Muhammad Shabazz Ali Sahab, you know, your future generations over here, you know, please make sure that you guide them, because I think this is the most important aspect of our lives. For whatever we have learnt about our country, I think most of it, major part of it for me came from my grandfather, my father,
Of
my
course, no one
siblings.
can deny that.
You know, everybody who was older than me, and you know, it was always instigated, and I would certainly want to give credit to Jannat Bhai. She said that it needs to be instigated, and I think that the way the media plays its role.
And no one can deny the influence that your dada dadi, your nana nane, your ancestors have on your upbringing, on your grooming, on your polishing. So now let's move on to Mikhail. So Mikhail, what do you want to be when you grow up? क्या बनना है बड़े होके?
I will be a cricketer.
You will be a cricketer?
Cricketer?
Really? Will you be a batsman or a bowler?
Bowler, because bowler can do batting and bowling.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
What if you are unable to become a cricketer? Then what?
Then footballer probably.
Then
Yeah.
army probably.
Yeah, and I think this is something that I would love to talk about as well, you know, because unfortunately we haven't progressed as a nation which plays football too much. Who is your favorite player in football?
My favorite player in football is Ronaldo.
Yeah, why not Messi? Why not Neymar? Why not Pogba? You know, there's so many other players, you know, so why Ronaldo?
I don't know.
How does, okay, tell me, how does Ronaldo celebrate when he scores a goal? He does that, right? He does that jump. Can you do that for us? Yeah, go ahead, do it. Yeah, that's how Ronaldo celebrates when he scores a goal, and that's wonderful. Okay, imagine that you happen to be a Prime Minister of Pakistan for one day, okay? What is the first decision that you're going to take? एक दिन के लिए आप वजीर आज़म बन गए पाकिस्तान के, आपके क्या करोगे पाकिस्तान के लिए?
First decision is I will say the army to attack on Israel.
Attack on Israel. All right. What about you? You are the Prime Minister of Pakistan for one day. What decision will you take?
Same.
Mind blowing because of the ideas that they have as well. Well, it's wonderful to have you guys over
Wonderful
here.
to have you here.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
with
much.
us. May Allah give you all of what you've been asking. Thanks to your parents, you know, for nurturing you and nourishing you and teaching you in such a way that you certainly became a part of our show today. Thank you so much for being with us. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we've got bigger kids now. You know, let's see what do they have to say or how do they aspire to contribute to Pakistan, our motherland's prosperity.
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.